Hey y'all, it's Brittany, the Witchy Virgo. Some of you may know me from TikTok. I've had a couple of pages in the past. I'm not on TikTok anymore. Some of y'all may know me from Instagram. That's really my platform that I kind of post stuff on. Um, anyway, I recently posted on my Instagram page that I think I'm going to start posting more videos on YouTube. And so this is the first one. So I do plan to do more tarot readings in the future to post on YouTube. But I think I'm gonna also make other types of videos because that could be interesting, like about spirituality, witchcraft, etc. Anyway, so this video is gonna be all over the place, I guess. I recently just came across a few things and I wanted to talk about them. So first of all, I saw a Facebook post. I mean, it's one of those goofy Facebook posts or whatever, but they were just like something like, y'all bitches, we doing witchcrafting, still can't keep a man, or something like that. Might as well hang it up, Sabrina, or something like that. Ha ha ha, right? But anybody who actually knows anything about witchcraft knows that you should not do love spells. Like, yes, there's going to be witches out there, magic practitioners who say that they do love spells and they will do them for you, as in messing with someone else's free will, like putting a spell on somebody to make them fall in love with you. First of all, why would you want that? Why would you want to force someone to like you or love you? Like, you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy, first of all, because you're obsessed. What you're trying to do spiritually is no different than you actually kidnapping that person and holding them hostage, like the bitch in Misery. Check that movie out with Kathy Bates. She got that man tied up in the bed. I think she breaks his ankles so he can't escape. You're doing the exact same thing by trying to put a love spell on somebody. Why would you want that? They don't actually want you. That person doesn't actually want you. Just think about that. At the end of the day, whether they end up in your life, they say they love you, they like you, they kiss you, all this stuff, y'all get married, have kids, at the end of that day, that person is under a spell. Literally under a spell. They don't actually want you. They don't actually love you. If anything, in their subconscious or their spirit, their soul could be crying out for help, right? Assuming that your spell is even successful. The thing is, though, educated witches, no matter what you practice, know that love spells tend to backfire. Any type of spell where you're messing with someone's free will usually backfires. It can go a lot of different ways. Love spells can go different ways. You know, the person can end up becoming extremely obsessed with you in like a dangerous way. Um, all kinds of shit. All kinds of shit could happen, right? Don't fuck with that stuff. You don't want to fuck with somebody's free will. You don't want to fuck with somebody's free will, okay? Do unto others, right? But I just thought it was funny, and I'm so glad that I saw other comments of people saying the same thing of like, real witches don't do that shit. Like, no. If anything, we're doing a spell to get rid of that motherfucker. You know what I mean? To cut ties with him or whatever, right? If anything, we're doing a spell on ourselves to fall out of love with someone that's like toxic or whatever. Now, there are love spells you can do to make yourself more attractive to anyone, or you can do a love spell, like a type of manifestation where you're manifesting the type of person. You can do a love spell to manifest the type of person that you would want in your life, but not an actual living human and like messing with their free will and like trying to force them to be with you. That's not, we don't do that. Okay? We don't do that. Like, just in the same way that if you do, you know, your actions have consequences on this plane on earth, same thing in the spiritual realm. Your actions have consequences. You know, there's some witches out there that don't believe in karma or anything like that. Listen, fuck around and find out. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Speaking of fucking around and finding out, that brings me to the next topic. So there is a YouTuber that I follow, the Black Cauldron. I don't remember her name, but just look her up. And she spells Cauldron C-U-L. And she, I believe, is a Hoodoo practitioner. Anyway, she is discussing this. Apparently, there are these MAGA witches who are so white, most of whom are actually white, you know, There was one black chick that says she is MAGA and like whatever. Listen, I'm not even gonna speak on that. It's not my place to, but anyway. But yeah, so she's talking about all these MAGA witches that are saying that they're using hoodoo against like Democrats and liberals and all these things, right? That is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. And she kind of said everything that needed to be said in that video as well. There were a couple other people, that commented. Okay. Okay. If you don't know anything about hoodoo, and listen, I may say something wrong, so please correct me. I am fascinated by religions, spiritualities, different spiritual practices. So I've dabbled here and there on just studying different forms of spirituality and whatever. So I know a little bit about hoodoo, um, and voodoo. Essentially, in a nutshell, hoodoo is very much a closed practice, meaning that nobody outside of the way that she explained it, the black culture, and not even, she said, not even African Americans, as in first generation Africans in America, even not even they can practice it, because specifically it is black people in America who are descendants of slaves, right? I would imagine, I mean, I think she said that this is not the case, but that even I would think that even like the descendants of slaves in like the islands and whatnot would be able to practice it, but maybe not, because hoodoo specifically I think comes from like the southern hemisphere in the United States of America, like not the islands, not Latin America. Like obviously there were slaves in those areas too, but I do think it specifically comes from like the U.S. South, those slaves specifically. And I believe similar to Santeria, other similar practices, uh, I believe that those are all that they do the same thing, in the sense that like the slaves, African slaves who were here in the United States, they had to hide their religion. So hoodoo is it stems from African religions, specifically, I believe, West African religions. Igbo, I don't know all the names, but voodoo is a big one, right? And what they did in order to practice their religion, their beliefs, whatever, without getting caught, they, I believe that they interchanged, I don't know if that's the right terminology, um, Catholic saints, like they replaced their African gods or spirits, luau, I believe, um, with like Catholic saints and stuff, right? I took too long to say that, but listen, it's like 1 in the morning, so but yeah, so essentially, and then I think there were also just different, maybe new practices that they developed, that kind of made up hoodoo. I don't know all of it. I just know that it specifically stems from African slaves in the southern United States, who wanted to continue practicing their own African religions and used Christianity, the Bible, Catholic saints, etc., to hide what they were actually doing. They had like code and stuff that they would use to practice their religion, right? These are slaves that were caught and enslaved and tortured and murdered and so on and so forth by white people, right? And then so down the line, their descendants, even during Jim Crow and the Civil Rights era, who were also being murdered and so on and so forth by white people. Why on fucking earth would a white bitch think that any of those spirits would help them, specifically to attack their descendants? What? Like what? Like what? That right there is white privilege and entitlement. These bitches are so privileged and so entitled that these motherfucking Karens literally think that they are so privileged and so entitled that African gods and spirits and African American spirits of enslaved African Americans, Africans, their descendants, are going to help these MAGA bitches? Like, what? That's wild. It's actually really fucking funny to me. It's funny because fuck around and find out. That's one of their favorite things to say. They love saying FAFO, fuck around and find out. They love saying that, right? They gonna fuck around and find out is what they're gonna do. And that's hilarious because as she was explaining in her video, like, they're not doing hoodoo for real. Because it's a closed practice. Like, you don't get to just work with these spirits, right? What you're dealing with is trickster spirits. That shit's funny as fuck to me. That's funny as fuck to me. Like, I don't. Anyway, something else that was said in that video, because the YouTuber was also putting in little videos from TikTok of other content creators that were speaking about this. And one of the people said that she encountered some kind of MAGA witch, and that she said she was hexing her page, and she was calling on Hecate to hex this witch. This other witch was white too, by the way, but she's not a dumbass bitch, okay? So she said that this MAGA witch, and she showed the screenshot of like what she wrote to her, that one, she put on some kind of hoodoo spell on her supposedly, but also called on Hecate, literally the queen of witches, the mother, the goddess of witches, and also the goddess of justice. She's a goddess of justice. She's a goddess of justice. And she said she's calling on Hecate to curse this other witch. What? Bitch, you just cursed yourself. You called on Hecate to do this? To curse another witch, first and foremost, but a witch that's on the right side of things? Girl, what are you doing? Are you okay? Are you good? Is you cool? The motherfucking audacity, the caucasity of it all is quite hilarious to me. I find it so funny. And honestly, as some of these other creators said, go ahead and keep doing it. Keep using hoodoo and calling on Hecate and stuff like that to do your deeds, right? To do your evil deeds. Keep doing it. Keep calling on these spirits. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I just imagine, like, literally when I was hearing her talk, I imagine like African spirits and stuff, and African American spirits, spirits of the slaves, etc., like literally like laughing their ass off at these dumb bitches. I just think it's so fucking funny, bro. Like the caucasity of it all. It's embarrassing, honestly. It's embarrassing. Secondhand embarrassment as a white woman. I'm just glad I'm not none of y'all dumb bitches. But anyway, with that being said, there is like, karma's real. You may not agree with me, but I guess we'll see. Karma's real. It is real, especially when you do practice witchcraft or any type of spirituality, conjure work. Like, there's different words for it. There's different names for it. Anytime you're delving in the spiritual realm, especially, there is karma, and I feel like it's, in my opinion, it's expedited. Like, yeah, there's karma on the human plane, right? But when you're dealing in the spiritual realm, your karma is gonna be quicker, I feel. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So just be careful what you're doing. People trying to put hexes on people, curses, trying to mess with somebody's free will. Now, in my opinion, there is a time and a place for a hex. But know when that time and place is. It's not, oh, this person pissed you off. Oh, they cut you off in traffic. It's not even, oh, they stole your boyfriend. You could try to hex that person, but you better make sure that you are fucking perfect. You know what I'm saying? These are not the reasons to be hexing people. It should only be used in very specific circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Like, when there is just not enough, you don't have enough power in the human realm to turn the wheel of justice, then you delve into the spiritual realm to get the help to turn that wheel. Does that make sense? That's the only time I would ever personally use any type of hex on anybody or any situation. Is when I'm trying to spin that motherfucking wheel, okay? And I just don't got enough. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways. I don't know what else I want to talk about. So I think that's going to be the end of this video. I do kind of want to talk about in a video, because I just find it fascinating, is this the right word, amalgamation? I don't think so. I don't think that's the right word. Maybe. Conglomeration? No. Anyway, the mixing, so to speak. Not really mixing, but of religion, spirituality in the United States, because there are so many different cultures and so on and so forth. Especially like Appalachia, I find it fascinating because there is root work in Appalachia, but it's different. People say it's like a mixture of like Native American spirituality, Hoodoo, and also Celtic, like root work type shit, because the pagans in Ireland, Scotland, they also did that type of shit, but it was just different, right? It's not the same as what the Africans did. It's different, similar, but different. You know what I'm saying? But in Appalachia, it's kind of like a mix of all of that. And I find that fascinating. And I actually don't know that much about it, even though I'm kind of like in that area. And I'm pretty sure that like my immediate ancestors are from that area, but I don't feel like I know enough about it. So I'm gonna have to look into that. I really want to talk to some hoodoo practitioners, okay? I want to talk to some people that do granny magic, folk magic from Appalachia. I want to talk to a lot of different people that do different types of, you know what I'm saying? And like really learn, okay? And maybe share that information with you all. Anyway, see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.